What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? So today we're hitting you with a new little series, and it's going to cover and help you get through ranked and grind through ranked as fast as humanly possible. I get a lot of questions. What god should I play? What should I prioritize? What should I do when I'm playing ranked? And that goes into a whole nother conversation where I hit you with the top gods in the role. I tell you to play the top gods in the role and focus on, 1, 2, or 3 of those gods. Well, let's say you're not at that point for whatever reason. You feel comfortable a bunch more gods. You just want to worry about getting your rank up, and that's what this video and these videos in this series is going to help you. So it's going to be your top 3 gods. There's going to be an honorable mention to winning ranked and casual games quickly and grinding your MMR up very, very fast, whether that's to get through, your bronze, silver games up into gold or plat or wherever you are, or just, you're trying to get wins and get as high as quickly as possible and then focus on the real ones. So with that being said, let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. I think you guys will be a little, not shocked. You'll understand where I'm coming from for most of these gods. Maybe you'll have your arguments, but overall, these will be core to just quickly getting wins, and you can play the one that you're more comfortable with. You can mix all of them up. It's up to you. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We're gonna go from number 3 up to number 1. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Number 3 on the list is Arachne. Shouldn't surprise you at all. Should be very, very straightforward. If you know anything about Arachne, she's one of the highest winning gods in the game. I think she is the highest winning god in the game currently and has been for years because of her simplicity. You press 3, which slows somebody and speeds you up, and you run at them and you press 2-1 and all you do is left click. There's no aiming, right? You're just auto attacking. That makes her so good and so easy to play. Now it's deeper than that. She hits 2 faster than any other god in the game as a jungler because she can put her 3 spiders on the back camp and it'll clear it by itself. You don't ever have to go there. She can do speed to red. Those spiders will kill that top back camp right above speed. And you'll hit 2 on your way to gank the duo lane. You have the earliest gank and the best ganks at level 2 in the game. And not only that, it creates that snowball effect, like that creating a snowball effect and that getting you first blood or getting your duo lane first blood. It shuts the enemy team down so quick. There's going to be instant blame, instant complaints, complaints about missing calls, no counter rotation. People will start raging. That's going to get you even more early wins. You're going to get your 10-minute wins, right? Your early surrenders. It's going to lead into a snowball onto a god that is good in the early, mid, and late game. Arachne is so good in ranked and casuals because in ranked and casuals, people fail to group up. Most games, people never group up at all. Like they never are running around as a group. Arachne picks those teams apart. That is why she is so, important to be played and why she is so valuable in this aspect of grinding ranked and getting your MMR up as quickly as possible. Now for the build, you want to go hyper pressure, hyper kills, and just be in their face all the time. That's going to be Mannequin Scepter. The best early game killing active in the game, or starter in the game, not active, starter, is Mannequin Scepter. You are going to be picking up Blink. You have to have Blink. You have to go Blink first. Don't even waste your time going beads, even if they have a million CCs. Just ignore it. Your goal is to be the hyper aggressor and kill people quickly and be smart about it. You can't go beads and do this. It just will not work out the same. You're going to go for the golden blade so your clear is quick, so you're at those ganks and you're continually pressuring and invading and being in their face all the time. This will also make it so you don't have to use any abilities to clear your camp. I use my 1 usually. I'll hit the big creep with my 1 and just auto it down. That'll kill it very quickly with the golden blade, and it's on a short cooldown, so you're not really wasting abilities. That will save you mana, increase your farm time, increase your uptime and being in their face and ganking, and allow that snowball to continue into the mid game where you're still going to be just as oppressive. Basically, you're just going to put out a ton of pressure, right? Next up, Stone Cutting Sword. I think Stone Cutting Sword is one of the best items in the game. Just straight up, it's giving you 50 power. You're getting more movement. You're getting that flat pen in a build that otherwise wouldn't have flat penetration in it. That's going to make your first autos nuts. With Arachne, when you pop your 2, your next 3 autos are really, really fast and they stun as long as you connect all 3. So that's going to make that stun get up, that pen shred from the stone cutting is going to go up, sorry. And you're just going to get a free kind of kill every single time. Once you have the stone cutting online, then you want to get Kins online as soon as possible. Then you kind of go one of 2 ways. You can go into Silver Branch and then you go into Oboe. This is going to shred through tanks. It's going to kill everybody. Your target doesn't matter. You're going to upgrade that Mannequin Scepter into the Mannequin Mace, by the way, just so you know. But this build right here is going to shred everybody. Squishies, tanks, everybody. You're going to out-trade, straight win, not even difficult. Now, if they're a heavy healing comp, I change up my build a little bit. I tend to go Xe here instead of the Silver Branch, and then I will go into anti-heal here and get the Toxic Blade. And it's because you end up losing power by not having, Silver Branch and then another power item. So I just get the Executioner online. We focus on getting that Toxic Blade online for that anti-heal, basically. It's just there for anti-heal. And you're pretty solid. You're good. This entire build will do the same thing. If there's any healing at all, I would recommend going this build. I don't see you ever struggling. Late game, sell the Golden Blade for a Blood Forge for lifesteal. If you want to stick with more attack speed because you go the Silver Branch build, you can go Aussie, but Blood Forge is just going to be a better item. It's going to give you more power. It's going to give you more auto attack damage. You're going to shred. Arachne's going to put out the pressure. She's going to get you the most possible wins. Out of all gods, she will be the one to get you the most wins out of the jungle if you're building properly. If you're not building properly, that's on you, and it's going to cause you to lose games. Now, you could be over aggressive. You could be out of position. You're going to have to learn to play the god. But the simplicity is there. You press 3 on somebody, they are now slowed, your speed is increased. Once you get into melee range, you 1 and you 2 at the same time. You just click 1, 2, or put up your first and second ability and just auto attack them. That's all you do. You just left click. So as long as you can hold left click, you can play this god, you can win your rank games, you can get a higher rank very, very quickly. On to the next one. So that's number 3 for me. Number 2 for me is a little bit different. She's a little bit different. It's Kali. I don't think it'll surprise you guys. Another one of the most most high winning, one of the most winningest assassins. I don't know. She's got a really high win rate. She's one of the high. I think she's number 2 for assassins on the win rates. Maybe number 3, but I think she's number 2. Could be wrong. Kali's is a little bit different. She creates a lot of pressure. It is very, very difficult to kill, right? Because of her stun 2 combo. It's a big burst, and then you auto attack down, right? She's great at it. It's her ultimate that kind of brings it all together, where she's not killable. So people don't want to target you. You want to use your ultimate around the 30 to 20% health. Like once you get down to 30, 20% health, that's when you would be using it. But the reason she's in this top list is because you can have a very, very strong early game on her because of the pressure she's creating and because of the difficulty kill. But mid to late game, she's going to start to spike more and more and more. Her passive gives you percent pen plus percent pen based on your level. So at level 20, your target, you have 30% pen on this person. I mean, you don't have to prioritize percent pen items. You don't have to prioritize, just squishy targets. You can kind of kill whoever you want as long as they're your target. So that's just bonus points, right? You have the good sustain out of your 2. It's giving you physical lifesteal. You have good mobility out of your 1. You've got setup out of your 3, and you have the consistency out of your ult. Now, the carryover from Arachne to Kali is the left clicked aspect. All you do with this god, another one, you press 3. You're going to 2, you're going to 3, auto 2, right? It's going to give you a good burst of damage, and then you're just going to left click. Same as Arachne. You land that 3, and you're going to be left clicking. With Kali, you've got options. If you want to have a better early game, it is perfectly acceptable to go Mannequin Scepter into Crusher for heavy burst and auto attack damage. Crusher got nerfed, so I'm not going that build. I'm playing for whatever happens early game is fine. I'm playing for that mid and late game. I want to farm and get my items online as soon as possible, right? So I'm going out of the jungle. I personally do very much like the Golden Blade, but I also know about killing, and we're talking about snowballing ranked. So we're not going to go the Golden Blade on Kali. It's just not going to be our number 1 option. It's not going to be the thing we want to be forcing. It's not a lot of value there. That Crusher, well, I talked about Crusher was nerfed. The early game Crusher lost a little bit, right? It's not as good. Tier 1, tier 2, not as good. Tier 3, still very strong. Lost a little bit of attack speed, but we don't care about that. We care about the high power. We care that it does have attack speed. We care about that flat pen because we're not going to be getting flat pen anywhere else. It's not going to be an option. Next up, we want more attack speed, but with Kali versus Arachne, we don't have that slow plus speed boost combo. So we're looking at Hasting Katana. Very important in the build. Must have. Okay. This point, you will have a lot of power, right? We're sitting on a good amount of power for where we are in the game. We've got the haste online so we can consistently auto. We have good bursts out of the 3-2 combo. You will be able to kill any major hunter with this build. You will be able to chase them down and you'll be able to outplay them. Then we get our real power spike in, which is going to be that Kin Size. The Kins is just massive and important to a god with very quick attack speed. And then we're going to pair that up with percent pen and more attack speed. You can get the percent pen from whatever items you personally like. I don't think Silver Branch has a lot of value because you don't have any attack speed built into your kit. So I like to get the Executioner online, and then I like to get the Oboe online. At this point, you're almost at cap attack speed. Granted, this is with Eye of the Jungle. With the upgraded Eye, you will over cap attack speed, which is perfectly fine. And you kind of just start shredding at this point. You go after the squishies, you target the squishies, you run them down, you kill them. It doesn't get more difficult or simple, I guess. It isn't going to get any more difficult, but it doesn't get more simple than that. It's just a very, very, very easy god to play. Make sure you just tunnel vision. All you have to do is tunnel vision the squishies, the mages, the hunters. Pick one, run them down, kill them. When your target swaps, swap to either the lowest health target next to you or the person that becomes your passive target. If you kill that passive target in a fight, you kill the first one, you kill that second one, you're going to win the fight. Your health is going to be full if you get the last hits, and you're going to win the fight every single time. It's just the way it is. Now, one thing I want to talk about before we move away from Kali is the hit chain on Kali. I don't know. Does it show it on here? It does. Okay. So your hit chain progression. Every god has a hit chain progression. Some of them is just, flat, like Thor's is just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Kali's isn't like that. And this is why you aren't building crit. And I had someone in my chat come in and say, hey, I do bad on Kali. I go rage or, win demon first item. I was like, bro, that's like, no offense to you, but that's why you're poop at Kali. Like, that is why you lose. You can't go crit on Kali consistently. It will work. It is not terrible, but it is not good. Okay? It is very average. So a hit chain progression is each of your attacks hits for a certain percentage of your auto attack power, right? So with Kali, it's 1, 0.5, 0.5. That is why with Kali, when you blink on somebody and you 3 auto, 2 auto, those abilities reset this progression. So instead of 1, 2, 3, you got 1 ability, right? Or ability 1, okay? As soon as you get to that second swing, you get to 2 and 3, it's half damage. Half damage on crits is a significant amount of damage that you're not doing because that's your hit chain. That's just how it works. Kali's not good with crits because she attacks fast. She has quick swing timers. She doesn't hit hard. That's why Kins, which doesn't get reduced damage, is so massive on a god like Kali. So build the Kins, W key your butt off, pick the squishy targets, tunnel vision. The biggest thing I can tell you right now, you will just win games because of your late game team fight, because of how quickly you kill somebody. As long as you know how to press blink, 3 auto, 2 auto, and then just hold left click and keep autoing. As long as you don't do that, you will win fights. But if you want to min-max your ability to carry and get those wins, tell people to attack, like group up, whatever, you're around somebody, make somebody go in first. Tell your support, attack, gank. Once you see that person engage and they start to use abilities on that person, or they engage and start using abilities on your teammates, that's when you go, you'll win every fight. Every single fight will be controlled by you. Now, last up on the list is the most snowball god in Smite history, in my opinion. Has been forever. And because of this, it is almost like printing free MMR for yourself. You will fully control the game. It's one of the few gods that can really just win every 1v1 except for a handful, very, very small handful, but every 1v1 against a mage, a hunter, even a lot of these solo laners. It's Thanatos. Requires a little bit more mechanical skill than Arachne and Kali. You have to hit these scythes. I'll talk about tips at the end of talking about Thanatos. But Thanatos is the same thing. Early pressure, just like Arachne. Maybe not as easy of a gank as Arachne because you don't hit 2 as quickly, but you are one of the most threatening gods in the game at all stages. People are afraid of you. People will turn and run away from you while you're able to just free kill them. You can auto them down and then scythe whatever you want. There's a lot of ways to play it. You have a good lane clear going into lane at level 2 or level 1, I guess, because of your 3. You're able to silence the enemy team and also hit the creeps. But Thanatos just does something that other gods don't. Thanatos with the scythe reset. Okay. Having the scythe reset is so massive. It is ridiculously massive. Anytime you hit this, you get that kill and you get that reset on the 1, it's going to swing that fight even more in your favor. You've already killed somebody. Okay. So the fight's going in your favor, right? You killed somebody. The thing is, that scythe is going to be used to kill that person if you're in that main portion of the fight. And it's going to make that scythe come up again. And they're not going to be ready for it. It's hard to calculate. It's hard to be ready for when you're playing against it. There's nothing that tells you, hey, this Thanatos' 1 is back up. And that's going to give you that health swing every time you land it and the burst of damage swing, right? Pair that with a mannequins in your build as your first item and you're already auto attacking them down. It's unstoppable. You have an execute, so you're able to be a part of every single fight. You can use that ultimate as just an engage similar to Thor with a guaranteed burst off of the one because you can't miss your one whenever you hit the ultimate. And it just swings every single fight with that instant burst. It's not, I'm here, everyone be afraid. It's, I'm here and I just took half your health, 60% of your health, 70% of your health. You need to run, you need to do something or I'm just going to get a free kill. And you're going to get the free kill 99% of the time on Thanatos. So for your build, pretty similar to Arachne with the mannequin, you want that early pressure. Now I talked about a tip. When you do go the mannequin build on Thanatos, you don't have to scythe until you have to scythe. That doesn't make sense. I'll say it again, you don't have to scythe. You don't have to use that one until you have to use the one. That's because while you're autoing with mannequin, first of all, you're autoing very, very hard when you play Thanatos, but you have that mannequin dot building up and creating immense pressure. At the same time, if you haven't scythed, that person you're killing is afraid of the scythe. They are reacting to the idea that you are going to use your one. That's going to cause them to juke a lot. When they're juking left and right a lot, that's more autos for you. You don't need to throw the scythe. You can save that scythe for when they have to run in a straight line or they're dead because you've autoed them down. That's when you scythe, when you have to scythe. Now, if you're looking for an instant kill, quick kill, you blink on them, you want to create that instant pressure, scythe, go use it. Use your one right away then. But in the early game, a lot of damage can be baited for you with the idea of I have my one up and I can use it when I want. It creates a lot less pressure for you. You aren't thinking, oh, if I miss this, I'm screwed. You're just doing damage. You're just beating them down and you're like, okay, whenever it's time, I'm going to use this one. It's going to give me more health back. So that trade is going to be in your favor. You're autoing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're both at 50%. Then you scythe, you're at 80%, they're at 10%. It's an insane swing ability that you need to take advantage of. So for the build, you want raw, direct power as soon as humanly possible. You're going to get the Jotuns online. In my personal opinion, nothing compares to getting full CDR online. It just does. There's no reason not to get full CDR online as soon as possible. So you want to go into Hydras. It's going to increase your burst. It's going to give you 30% CDR. And then for your last cooldown item, it is 100% up to you. Erendite, if you're using your ultimate to just be kind of that engage, I don't say engage bot, but you're using that ultimate to engage fights rather than execute. Or you can wait and go for late game red pot. It's either or for you, but the power you get off of these items is nuts. You're going to round out the build with your Heartseeker, and then you're going to finish out the build with what I've been building in all my games is Titan's Bane. Now, the thing is, with Thanatos, you're getting penetration already in your kit. So while you have some flat pen on the Jotuns, and then you wait really long time to get percent pen, it's okay. It's not a big deal because you still have your execute, you're still hitting very hard, you're still autoing people down with that mannequin scepter, and then you'll get that pen once you level up that ability. Remember when you level up the starter, I don't go into mannequin mace late. Well, I did talk about this auto attack early game. It's because the early game is slower. You get a lot more, one-on-one fighting time than you do in the late game. Late game, you're insta-dead, right? So you're going that hidden blade late game, 100% every single time. Now, for Thanatos abilities, if you didn't know, your 2 is giving you penetration, flat pen. So while we only have a Jotuns for flat pen because we didn't go Crusher, we didn't go Brawlers, you're getting 35 flat pen every time you 2, which is a massive amount of damage. So anytime you 2 and then blink on somebody in 1, you're hitting them very, very, very hard. So do not forget that. You are hitting them insanely hard. That flat pen is there. You might not kill tanks as fast as, say, Arachne once you get that Xe online, or Kali once you get the Xe online, or Arachne once you get the Silver Branch. You might not be able to do as much damage to tanks, or you don't have to pass from Kali, right? But you can guaranteed get to a squishy every single time on Thanatos. Between your movement speed on your 2, the slow immunity on your 2, the fact that you have your passive if they're low, you have the ultimate to engage, and you get that blink online, you will be good to go. Just for the reason Thanatos for me is number 1, if you get first blood on Thanatos, that level you get, that XP you get, that turns into a level lead almost the whole game, will carry you throughout the match. A lot of people do not attribute XP to a lead to being better than an item. They think, oh, I have an item, I'm good to go. If the other person has XP lead on you and their scythe is hitting for an extra 70 at that point in the game because they have 1 level lead on you, that's 70 damage you don't have. Your item is not making up for that. And almost always, if you have an XP lead, you probably have your gold's either even or you're ahead anyway. So that XP is something that you want to snowball off of and control. Is why Thanatos is one of the best snowball gods in the game. Because once he has that, he will continually jump up. You get the burst from your 3 as well, which is hitting very, very hard. Your scaling is nuts. And then anytime 2 people are brawling, you guys already know how the game goes. Solo lane is fighting back and forth 24/7 for no reason. Duo lane W keys each other. People are fighting in the mid lane 24/7. That execute is going to get you mad kills, and it's going to swing the fight every time, because when you're up in the air and they see their teammates about to get executed, they want to get away from him. They don't want to get stunned as well and then get turned on. So that man usually dies for free. And then you just keep on running it down. You get to execute, you blink on somebody, you keep running it down. Do not stop that pressure. The same way with Kali, the same way with Arachne, but Thanatos just has the ability damage that others don't. Biggest problem with that is you need to mechanically play Thanatos properly. That's why I'm giving you that tip of use your scythe when you have to use your scythe. You don't just have to throw it out all the time. Use it when you have to use it. Now, those are the 3 by far top gods for you to start just skyrocket your MMR up for free on your own. Where you aren't relying on your teammates, you're doing your own thing. My honorable mention that a lot of people are not catching on to is Bellona. Bellona does well into both Arachne and Kali. It actually really solid pick into the Kali. So I wanted to mention mention Bellona. Most people don't know how to play against Bellona jungle. They're not used to it. They're not comfortable with it. They don't play with it against it a lot. They don't play it, so they don't know what's going on. So you catch people off guard. You get the off guard aspect. You get that auto attack aspect very, very similar to Kali, where you're just W king a lot. The build is a little bit tankier, but you're still just playing that consistent auto attack build down. Like you're fully committing to that, and it's going to be heavy in your favor because you have a slow in the kit, you've got a stun in the kit, you've got good clear in the kit, and you have good ability damage in the kit, which isn't consistent with Kali and Arachne. It's more consistent with Thanatos, but Thanatos doesn't have the auto attack. So Bellona's got a mix of both, and while having insanely good matchups into a lot of these gods, people don't know how to play into it, so you get even more of an advantage. So I wanted to just throw Bellona in there for a mix of something for you to play. So Stone Cutting Sword is going to be core to this build, and then your other hybrid item is going to be your Berserk Shield. This is going to be core. You just run at everybody over and over and over and over and over, and you don't stop. Then you're going to get some damage online, that Kins. You're then going to carry that damage over into penetration so you can kill anybody. And then you're going to finish off that build with the oboe. If they have healing, get Toxic Blade instead of oboe. But this right here, you will just melt everybody. They won't know how to react. You will catch people off guard. I don't want to get too deep into it because this is it's a little bit more difficult to play. But it has that snowball. I'm going to just tank, or not tank, you're going to just skyrocket your MMR by just spamming Bellona over and over and over. It also catches people off guard because they think it's going solo. So they pick other gods against it that don't end up being matchups for you, and it just goes in favor of your team. So you have your whole team in that aspect. That is the top 3 with an honorable mention. Best gods to play in the jungle to win every single ranked game, every single casual game, and skyrocket that MMR up. I hope this helps you guys. Remember, Smite Source is updated for everything but hunters. I'll get that updated as soon as possible. Remember, Smite Source is there for a resource for you guys to use for builds, especially with that patch coming in 2 weeks. This patch is going to be huge. Huge. You need to be ready for it. You need to be playing these gods.